So it is nearly 8 a.m. We arrived in the US last night, and I'm going to share with you this week in this little vlog how I continue to move my body and what I eat on a week away. We're about to head out for a walk. It's about 0 degrees outside, so very cold. So I'm wrapping up with double layers to keep myself warm. Feeling in the mood. So I'm about to head into a Whole Foods market to get a couple of things that we forgot yesterday. And food shopping between Ireland and the US is really quite different in terms of pricing and where you shop and how you shop. So we've been to the US, this is the 4th time this year. And the first and the second time we mostly shopped in Trader Joe's and 1 or 2 other shops. And it was a little bit more expensive than Ireland, yes. But then last time when we were here in October, we did a whole shop for 10 days in Whole Foods market. And by the time we got to the till, the checkout total was $900 US. We didn't buy anything, we didn't buy any alcohol, we didn't buy a lot of meat. We had a little bit of turkey mince, but it was lots of vegetables, fruit, coffee, tea, just kind of those kind of things. And they said, do you have an Amazon Prime account? Because it's $200 less. And we said, well, we do now. So that was a real shock. Obviously, when you go to Whole Foods, everything is organic. And actually, if you were in Ireland, you couldn't actually get all these products organic. So I don't know how much it would really be if you bought all that in Ireland. But it's a big difference. And obviously there are a lot of other food shop options in the US. You can go to Walmart and you can go to Costco and to go to all these places, and it's a lot cheaper. So it's really a question of how much money do you have at your disposal to spend on your groceries. And if you have more money at your disposal, then you can buy in these shops. Now, if we lived here, probably wouldn't shop there all the time because it would be really expensive. But that's just a little observation. So I'm going to head in and just get a couple of things. I won't buy too much today. The sunsets are just pretty spectacular here. Okay, so that was $200 for fresh vegetables. What else did I buy? Some breakfast stuff, some eggs, some cooked chicken. Yeah, I mean, it seems it wasn't much, but it's expensive. It's good fun though to have a browse around because products are very different. And yeah, I bought some things also which like salt, pepper, stuff because they weren't in the Airbnb, and whatever's left over I can just bring it home then, so it's longer lasting. So I'm in the little Airbnb kitchen here, sorry about the background noise, and I've just prepared a whole lot of vegetables. Got sweet potatoes, courgette, here I've got some squash and some fresh beetroot, so I'm going to roast all of that in the oven for about 30 minutes now, and that's going to last us for the whole week probably. So here is my dinner tonight. Got some pre-cooked salmon from Whole Foods and a lot of roasted vegetables. End of day one, time to go to bed. I still got about 10,500 steps, which is quite good. I think about 6,500 from the walk this morning, and then the rest just from kind of walking around. It's also nice to take a break from training because I have trained pretty intensely this week, actually 5 days non-stop, so there's definitely no training today obviously, and also no training tomorrow. I will see about next week, but yeah, it's time to go to sleep because we have a busy day tomorrow. Good night. Day 2, and I'm just about to head out the door for a quick walk. I haven't got much time, so I'm literally setting myself a timer for 20 minutes one way, 20 minutes back, 40 minutes done and dusted. Sometimes you have to remember that something is always better than nothing, even if we can't do the whole program that we would normally do. So whatever you can do is a good thing. So I'm just back from my walk and making some breakfast. We're having some scrambled eggs and some fried vegetables that I also got in Whole Foods yesterday. Probably have a bit of fruit with that and some toast, so that should keep us going. We're heading off to an American football game today, which should be fun, but cold. Okay, so there we are. I've got 3 eggs and I mixed in a little bit of cottage cheese, makes them fluffier. Lots of fried vegetables, a slice of toast with some peanut butter, a bowl of watermelon, and a cup of black coffee. So we've got protein, we've got carbohydrates, fats, tons of fiber as well. So great setup for the day. So one thing I noticed is here in the US is that sugar is definitely a lot more prevalent everywhere. If you go into a coffee shop and you order a coffee, they'll always ask you, do you want sugar with that? Or where the kind of milk stations are, there's always far more sugar around than what we would see in Europe. And even the milk that you would see in these coffee shops is generally flavored. It has some kind of toffee, maple syrup, whatever artificial flavoring. The same with supplements. It's interesting that most supplements are sold in form of gummies, and they all contain sugar. So this is quite interesting to notice the difference here, how much more sugar is prevalent literally everywhere. Also ultra processed foods, I mean, we have them as well in Europe, of course we have them, but you see them here at a level everywhere that is really quite shocking. Yeah, interesting observations. Day 2, an American football game, which was good fun. Food choice is pretty poor. Actually, a bowl of chips came with a sodium warning. But yeah, it was a great family day out. Lots of time spent in the car today sitting, but I still managed to get around 8,000 steps. Just a little walk in the morning and a walk to the car park and back. So very tired tonight. Time for some good sleep. So it is day 3, I think, and I'm just cooking some dinner. One of the reasons why I actually like to stay in Airbnbs is because I can kind of stay with my same diet, and we don't eat out that much here because this is the 4th time we're here, so we don't come here for that. Just cooking up some turkey mince and onions, and I'm going to throw in, got some chopped vegetables, I'm going to throw those in there as well. And that's pretty much very similar to what I would eat at home as well, not a big difference. It's light, high protein, lots of vegetables, lots of fibre. There's some sweet potatoes in there, so I've got some starchy veg. And that's going to be, some seasoning. I've got a little bit of tomato sauce, I'm going to add that in. And that's going to be dinner tonight. So there we go. It doesn't look great because the light is so awful in here, but I've got ground turkey, onions, lots of vegetables, and half an avocado, and that will be my dinner tonight. That'll do me. Thank you. So we're actually on our last day in the US. We're flying back home tomorrow. And I haven't filmed quite as much as I wanted to for a couple of reasons. A, this is the first time that I'm trying to do a vlog over a week, and it's new to me. So I do sometimes forget to get the camera out. I'm far more used to the kind of short Instagram reel type content, and I really want to learn to get more into the long form content because I think it's a lot more interesting. I think also because of the type of people who would probably watch my content, I think this might also be more your type of content. So please forgive me if this vlog hasn't been quite that professional yet, but I'm working on it and it's getting better. And then also the weather has been a bit
crappy, lots of rain, really dark, grey days where it was a bit harder to film some content. The light in the Airbnb is pretty bad, so it wasn't really conducive to that either. However, we're here, it's our last day, we're flying back home tomorrow, so it's day 6, and really had time to reflect on how my attitude to kind of overall nutrition, diet has changed when I'm traveling. And that's kind of a result of probably listening to my body over time, recognizing really what feels good. And my attitude would have been far more before about eating food, eating local foods, trying out all the things. Whereas now my attitude is more about experiences and doing things other than related to food. So I'm much more aware now of how I nourish myself and how that makes me feel in my body. And when I eat a certain way, which is a lot leaner and a lot higher in protein, when I look for those things, even when I'm traveling, and also when it comes up towards Christmas, that I just feel better. So I think it's really important that we kind of take notice of how we feel when we nourish ourselves. And it can be so easy to look for the instant reward. Something tastes really good, we know it's going to taste good, so we're going to eat it, but we also might know that maybe in a couple of hours or the next day, physically, we might not feel that great. I think this has really been a result of listening to my body over years and years. And you may have heard the saying, we overestimate what we can achieve in a day, but we underestimate what we can achieve in a year. And I kind of look at it that we overestimate what we achieve in a year and we underestimate what we achieve in a decade. So I was doing a bit of a review this morning in my head of the last decade. 2016, I stopped drinking alcohol. Not because alcohol was necessarily a problem, but I felt that there was too much of it in my life and kind of fitness and health had become more important. So I really wanted to make sure that I could do those things, but that alcohol was actually interfering with that. And so I stopped drinking alcohol on a regular basis in September 2016. I can't actually give you the exact day, but I sometimes have a drink now. It could be 2-3 times a year. But I just don't feel the need to do that more often than not. And I'll talk in a different video more about this. And then in 2017, I adopted a fully plant-based diet, which I'll talk about later a little bit more as well. But I just started to introduce a lot more vegetables into my life, reduce meats, etc. And that kind of continued on for 2-3 years. Obviously, the pandemic happened, 2020. My kind of background was really in food content creation. I was creating recipes online. I had a food blog. I was also doing a lot of live cook-alongs during the pandemic. But the other thing that also happened was that my weight gradually went up. And in 2021, I decided to sign up with a coach for a 6-month period because I had realized that I was actually quite unhappy with my weight and with the way I looked. And it's totally okay to have aesthetic goals at the start, to not be happy with the way that you look. So I started working with him in June 2021 until Christmas 2021, and this was still on a fully plant-based diet. I lost over 12 kilos, so 25 pounds in that period, and I've more or less kept it off. And I say more or less, there's maybe 2-3 kilos that have come back, but that's just through kind of regular eating. But I also found my love of strength training with him, because with him, I had a 3-day strength training program and I totally fell in love with it. So much so that in 2023, last year, I decided to qualify as a personal trainer myself because I wanted to learn more about it. I wanted to be able to put my own programs together. I wanted to be able to help women achieve the same kind of strength and confidence that I had developed in my body, no matter what their age, and especially as they get older, especially in their 50s, that it's still possible to change your body. So now fast forward to 2024, I'm not on a fully plant-based diet anymore. I have started to eat meat and fish again, purely for reasons that I felt that I constantly thought about these foods and I felt that I wanted to have some of it back in my life. There's nothing wrong with a fully plant-based diet. I think if you have a predominantly plant-based diet and you include lots and lots of fiber and vegetables and fruit in your diet, that's the best diet you can have. So that's kind of where I'm now at the end of 2024. I now have my own app, obviously. I have my own strength training program. I have wonderful women in my app who train with me. We do live workouts or they do the recorded workouts, and I couldn't be happier when I see them getting stronger and also watching their food intake or kind of figuring out what works for them, what do they enjoy, what makes them feel good. it's interesting to see how far I've come since 2016. And I think it's also important to anybody watching this that you have to know you don't have to do all of this in 1 year. Things like giving up alcohol can be really, really daunting at the start. And for the first year, I really thought this was really hard because I felt like the odd one out. Now, nowadays, there are a lot more non-alcoholic drinks around. There are a lot more people that have reduced their alcohol intake. So it's not that unusual anymore. But in the first year, it was really hard. But I will also say that no matter who you speak to, anybody who has given up on the long-term basis will always say that they don't regret it. It has only brought positive things into their life. So that's something to keep in mind. So it's been interesting to do this 10-year review and to kind of see how my attitude to training and nutrition has changed in those 8-9 years. Sorry, helicopter going by, it's quite loud. And I will make sure to share a little bit more about my journey in the next couple of videos. We're going home tomorrow and I'm looking forward to getting back into my regular training. I haven't really done anything here, but I also had a really intense week of training before I came out here, so it's been quite nice to take my foot off the pedal. But I can't wait to get back into my training on Saturday and to go towards Christmas and feel great.